Hey guys, it's Ian with Motorcycling. How are you today? Today I have a video. It's kind of a little different. It's still motorcycle related, but it's involving motorcycle camping. So I've done some camping via car. I've done some trailer camping. I've done some tent camping. And camping with a car is a little different. Like for me, I basically just took my whole kitchen and my bedroom and I just threw it in the car and just drove to the campsite and just set everything up with a tent, and that's pretty much it. The trailer camping is kind of the similar thing, except it's a trailer instead of a tent. And this year, for 2018, I want to try motorcycle camping, and so what you see here is all the gear that's going to be on my bike. I ride a street triple, and I've put all of this on the back of the bike, and it fits perfectly. This is a 10-liter bag. These are all Kriega bags. They're all waterproof. The only thing that isn't waterproof is this right here, and I'll get into that later. This one does not come with a waterproof bag, but I can't find a waterproof bag right now because it's kind of long. But I'll get into that later. This is a 10-liter bag, and this is going to be the tank bag. And then this is going to be the tail bag. And everything is strapped together, as you can see right now. It's all strapped together. It's not going anywhere. And then underneath the 10-liter bag is a backpack. And for the first few times that I'm going to go camping, I'm going to do short trip, only like literally 30 minutes, maybe an hour. It's going to be 1 night to 2 nights only, maximum 2 nights, nothing more than that. So this is a short camping setup. So the backpack is a 30-liter bag. It's not fully packed right now. It's more like 20 liters packed. I didn't do a very good job packing it for this video. But I'm using it because it's waterproof and I don't have to buy an extra liner. That's kind of why I'm using it. Because it's a short trip, I'm willing to wear a backpack of this size to go camping. I'm just going to try it out, try camping with a bike and see how I like it. Most of this gear I purchased for motorcycle camping, but also for camping in general, because I haven't had new camping gear in like 10 years. And so you'll see some of the stuff and you're wondering why I have it. It's because I also plan on camping with my family as well, and that's why I have it. But for the most part, most of this stuff is for solo camping, just for me. Not really cooking for many people, just cooking for me. So let's get started. Alright, we're going to start with the 10-liter bag. So I've loosened it up a little bit so we can get this open quickly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them quickly just to show you what I carry. If you want them in details, I'll do the detailed video later. But let's just get started. So first thing is some utensils. And these are titanium utensils. I do have a long spoon for dehydrated meals. I do have, let's see, a smaller spoon, smaller fork, smaller knife. And last but not least, a kitchen knife that folds like that. It's very light. I really like this knife. I can't wait to use it. But I thought about bringing one of those razor blade things, but I figured, you know what, I'll just get a lightweight one so I don't have to go back and forth. Okay, so that's the utensils. I don't have any spatulas or anything like that because it's my first time camping on a motorcycle, and I don't know if I want to invest in something that nice yet. Moving on from there, let's see. This is a lightweight camp stove setup. I'll explain to you what that means. So it's a 750 ml titanium cup. It's basically a cup. I wouldn't call it a pot, but I can make small soup in here, boil some water, put in dehydrated food bags. So this sponge, I actually just use one of my home kitchen sponges and just cut it into pieces so that it fits in here. This is a stove. It's a MSR Pocket Rocket 2. I think that this is the new model for 2015, but I bought it in 2017, so that's okay. I'll just fold it out so you can see. You can kind of see what it looks like. I'll just show you a video of it later. I have tried it. It's actually really good. It's actually really powerful for a tiny little stove. I mean, there are definitely smaller stoves out there, but this one is definitely pretty good for the size. This is like an igniter. And then inside is a small canister, and under that is a lighter, just in case the igniter stops working. But that's pretty much the compact stove. I am using this stove as a backup stove, or if I just want a quick cup of hot water for something, like either some tea. I don't really drink coffee, so I would use it for tea or hot cocoa. So I thought I would bring this up, and it would be a backup stove in case my other stoves don't work or stop working. Now, I am bringing 3 separate stoves because I'm trying them out. One of them I actually purchased for family camping, and these 2 are for myself. The weakest part of my camping kit right now is my cooking set. So I'm kind of trying it out because I'm not very familiar with this lightweight camping style. Next is a headlamp. This headlamp is for me to just put on to go to the bathroom at night when I'm on the campsite, or if I happen to be setting up something or cooking in the dark, I can have that. The headlamp and the tool is actually from my toning kit. I'm just borrowing it. Actually not borrowing, I'm reusing it because there's no sense in buying new gear just for motorcycle camping. And this is a multi-tool that like I said, I used during my tour. And that's my multi-tool. And it also comes with little bits right here. Little heads to change out. So that's a tool. It's pretty heavy. It's not lightweight at all, but I don't really mind at this point because I'm not a backpacker or a hiker. Next is a tool roll. It's basically the Krieger tool roll. It's very simple right now. It's only specific to my motorcycle. I don't really have anything else to fix anyone else's bike but my own. So it fits pretty compact. This thing definitely has room to grow, so I can certainly fit more items in here, as you can see how long this Velcro is. But I don't really plan on bringing anything else but stuff for my bike only. Next, let's see what else we got in this thing. This is a stop and go tire repair kit. It's I bring it everywhere. If I go on tour, even though I'm just gonna go for somewhere close, I still bring it with me. And this is my other pot kit, stove kit, I guess, kitchen stove or whatever. This one I actually purchased on Amazon for only 16 bucks, and I wanted to try it out just to see what it's like. And this is what it looks like. So it comes with a pot and a small frying pan. Now, it's a frying pan, but it's very small and it's very lightweight. I've used it a couple times already just to try it out. And it's at home, of course, not in the campground yet because it's like negative 12,000 outside. So the pot here also comes with a handle. And inside the pot, I've actually cut myself a sponge and put it in there. It comes with a sponge, but the sponge sucks, so I'm gonna use the sponge. This I actually had to purchase myself. This is actually for the canister to sit here and give it a more stable base. The gas canister that I showed you earlier. These are fire starters. I actually just made them. I have fire starters for my fire pit in the backyard, except they're like this round and huge, and they take up a lot of space. And if I was to cut them in 4s, they start to crumble. So that's why I figured, yeah, I'll just make some smaller ones. This is just Vaseline and cotton pads for makeup remover. This is actually camp suds that I've poured into a smaller hotel shampoo bottle, just to save space. This is actually the spoons and fork that came with this set. Basically, it folds out like that. And this is a stove. This stove came with this whole set for 16 bucks. This stove is only like $5 or $7 on Amazon. It's a very generic Chinese stove, but it's small, and it comes with a small little case that fits in here. So it's actually pretty good, and everything just fits in this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw everything back in here so we can go on to the next thing. All right, so cap goes on. Fold this down. This goes in here. Okay, so we're gonna put that to the side. And that pretty much concludes what's inside the dry sack. On the outer pocket, is a waterproof case for my phone, same thing as last year. Wet wipes, this is new. I did not have this last year. This is because I'm camping. There's always something dirty that needs to be wiped. Extra paper towels in a plastic bag. Plastic bag for garbage. A side stand holder to prevent the bike from sinking in if there's gravel or sand. And the list of everything that's supposed to go into this bag. Each bag has its own list, just to help me remind me what's in here. Alright, but for the most part I do remember what's in here. Let's move on to the next bit of bag here. Alright, next is the 30-liter backpack. I was thinking of switching this to putting everything in a 20-liter bag and putting it on the tail bag, but we'll see. Let's try this out first. So first things first, there's 2 front pockets on the outside and these cinch straps right here. I don't think there's anything down here, but there is something up here, I believe. So let's start with that. Let's uncinch that. And again, this backpack, it's actually just a dry sack with some straps for the person to wear as a backpack. So the first thing is a tripod for my GoPro. It also comes with a little adapter to attach a phone. If you don't bring GoPros or anything like that, you can actually use this to attach phone. So that's the first thing. Next thing is a helmet lock. I always lock my helmet to my bike. And then these are just sandals. When I get to the campground, I'm gonna put these on, especially if it's a nice day. If it's not, I'll just put my boots on. And that's pretty much all that's in there. And then this is the same thing as the 10-liter earlier. I have to unhook this clasp, unhook the side here, and we're gonna see what's inside of this thing. So the first thing is, this is an extra dry bag in case something fails or something gets punctured in a hole. Any of my dry sacks, I have an extra one. It basically just goes inside whatever backpack or bag. It's basically, and what's nice about this is sometimes the hiking brands, they charge like almost $80 sometimes for a dry sack. This is $50. It's still not cheap, but it's a 30-liter dry sack for $50. And Kriega makes some really waterproof products. I mean, this stuff has been submerged in water and everything stays dry. Inside this thing is a speaker. It's a wireless Bluetooth speaker. It's kind of big, but that's because I use it around the house and I don't feel like investing money in a smaller one just for camping. I'm gonna bring it along just to see if I will end up using it or not before I actually look into investing, but I really don't want to. This is still pretty small and I use it for family camping too, so. All right, so that's that. The next item is my water filtration kit. This is a mini Sawyer, or I should say a Sawyer Mini. I keep saying it backwards because I'm dyslexic. But it's got a paper towel in here. I just took everything and put it in a plastic bag just to keep everything together. It does come with the bladder and the syringe to clean it and the straw and the filter itself. All right, moving on from there. This is just my GoPro stuff, so I do plan on bringing some GoPros to record some of this stuff for you guys. And so I just gotta bring this thing because it has all of my batteries, all my chargers in there. So, and of course, room for the GoPro. Alright, so let's move it on from there. Next is my bathroom bag. Very simple, just like my tour. Floss, shampoo, conditioner, contact lens. Pretty much same thing. This is actually a clothesline. I got this recommendation from the people over at TheRidingObsession.com. I'll leave a link down below for the camping list if you want to check it out. But this one, I bought it because I do want to use it during family camping as well. However, it's a little bulky, and so I'm going to invest in something smaller for motorcycle camping. But this is quite bulky. But this is good for just good old family camping. This is my fuel bottle, and I'll show you why I carry this in a minute. Zip ties, always need zip ties. And so here's why I carry this fuel bottle. This is a 0.4 liter fuel bottle, 300 milliliter fuel bottle. it's honestly the reason why I carry this is because of the stove right here. This stove actually comes, this bottle came with the stove. This is called an Optimus Polaris OptiFuel stove. It's a stove that I will also use for family camping as well, not just motorcycle camping, but I'm bringing it to try it out to see if it's worth carrying the extra weight on the motorcycle. The stove comes with a wind shield and a heat shield deflectors. So this goes underneath the stove to prevent it from burning anything else. It comes with a pump, and this pump hooks to this fuel bottle. And the stove can pretty much use any kind of fuel except, I think, propane it can't use. But I've seen people use propane, so it's or alcohol. I don't think they use alcohol either. So it's diesel, kerosene, gasoline, iso. I think isobutane. I don't know the mixture of the canister mixture that I showed you earlier. It uses canister fuel, and so it uses a lot of different types of fuel. And this is what the stove looks like. Just want to show you really quick. I'm not going to go into details because there's way too much to talk about on this with the stove. But it looks like this. And this right here is called a Lindell valve, I think it's called. And it hooks to this pump like this. And the canister fuel has the same valve, Lindell valve. So I don't have to change this valve out to go from fuel, liquid fuel, to canister fuel. And that's why I really like this stove. And then it looks like this when you fold it out. Like that. And then you just put the pot on top. And this thing is a pocket rocket on steroids, is basically what this is. Alright, so here we go. We're going to fold that back up. And I have tried this already. I've already tried all of my stoves. I already tried all of my gear, so I know how to use them before I go on this trip. And when I go on this trip, I will take videos and show you guys what's happening while I'm out on the field, so you guys can get an idea if any of this gear works or not, and report back to you so you can make an informed decision on your motorcycle camping gear. Alright, so let's move on from there. The last thing in this bag is pretty much my clothes. And what I've done is I bought a Thermarest air mattress, and it comes with this air bag. This is the bag that you're supposed to use to blow up the air mattress. However, I've just kind of repurposed it and use it as a clothes bag. So I've got 2 days worth of clothes in here. Well, kind of 1 day. So one pair to change overnight when I get off the bike for bed, and then the other pair is for me to wear the next day when I get back on the bike. So there's 2 pairs of clothes in here, so it fits really nicely. And that's pretty much this bag. So let's go into the next bag. Alright, so next we have basically the tail bag. It's got a couple things going on here. So I've used rock straps to attach these 2 bags, these 2 right here, to the Kriega 30-liter bag. This is not a backpack. This is a bag that gets attached to any bike pretty much. So I've used the rock straps, and this particular thing right here is actually a cot. It's a tent cot made by Helinox. It's very lightweight. It's 4 pounds. It's not lightweight by hiker standards, but for a motorcycle camper, this is actually pretty light for a giant full-size cot. So these rock straps, they go through the loops right here, and they just hang on to the bike. And I'll do a separate video later of how to put these on if you guys are interested. I don't know if you are or not. But they just unhook, and then we have the cot right on top, and I just take this off, and it gets detached from the Kriega bag right here. So first is the Helinox cot. I am not going to unbox this in front of you because it's way too big. I will show you how this all sets up later once I get to the campground. Alright, and this is actually the tent. I will try to show you what the tent kind of looks like. This is a dry sack, or a dry bag I should say. I bought it on Amazon for like really cheap, and it's pretty high material, high quality material. It's like really tough. It's heavy. It's not like ideal for hikers, obviously backpackers, but it's for motorcycle campers. This is perfect. Still pretty lightweight comparatively, and it's It's a waterproof bag. I mean, you can't go wrong. So this is my tent. It is an MSR Hubba Hubba NX2 two-person tent, and this thing can actually cinch down a lot smaller. The footprint, which is sold separately, is already in this bag. I've already put it in this bag. This bag weighs 4 pounds 13 ounces. The cot weighs 4 pounds 4 ounces. So if I was to add the two together, that's roughly 8 pounds for these two items. That is actually pretty good. The tent might weigh a little bit more. It might weigh maybe 4 pounds instead of the 3 pounds 13 ounces because it does have the footprint inside. But you know, if I add the two together, that's 8 pounds. Ooh, sorry guys. 8 pounds on the back of the bike. I mean, most people's tents are like 7 to 10 pounds. So that's really good. And it's a very nice tent. I actually already set it up. I know how to use it now. It is so simple to set it up. And I'll show you guys that later. I was looking for a motorcycle tent that was lightweight. And I found this and I fell in love with it. So I'm actually excited to use that at the site. Okay, next is the 30-liter bag. And you can see the straps just hanging off right here, the 30-liter bag. And so that's why I love these 30-liter bags. They got these little loops that you can just attach things to them, so which is great. All right, so let's unhook this and get this ball rolling so you guys can go do something else versus watching this video. All right, move it on here. So inside the bag, the first thing is going to be a pair of gloves. Always put on a pair of gloves when I'm about to do some work at the tent, at this campsite. This is a mini lantern. It's got these legs that fold up like this, like that, and you see how small this is. My hand is 7 inches in diameter, so from here to here it's about 3.5 inches. And so very small hands, and you can see how small this fits in here. So the legs get down like this, and they stand like so. You can see. And it also has a hook, so this will hook at the ceiling of the tent, and then it also has a charging cable that's connected to the lantern, and you will never lose the charging cable because it's kind of stuck on the lantern itself. But it folds away very nicely, so it wraps around the lantern, and it's got a magnet right here that attaches to where the USB end will attach to the magnet, and you can barely see that it's there, but you don't lose it. You don't have to worry about carrying an extra cable. It also has a USB output to charge a small device like a phone or possibly a GoPro, but not like a laptop or anything like that. And then this is the knob that actually turns the light on. So right now both sides are on, and you can see that how much power it has with these blue lights. And then I can turn the other way to only light up on one side, and one side's not turned on. So I can go to high one side or high both sides. And this is nice to hang. It's actually very bright at night. I've tried it in my tent in my house in the dark, and it's pretty nice. It's called a Lighthouse Mini. It also has a magnet on the bottom, and this is where the battery goes, by the way. There's the battery. But it's got a magnet in the bottom, and what this magnet does is it actually helps stick on the side of a motorcycle if you're working on something at night. If you need to work on the bike at night, you just kind of stick it somewhere in the frame, unless you have all plastic motorcycle. And then it also has a screw right here, so I can screw it onto the tripod that I showed you earlier, so that way you can put it on a tripod. So yeah, it's a very versatile lantern. Alright, so that's the lantern. I'm actually excited about that lantern. Hat, definitely a hat anytime sitting around the campground. This is a kitchen sink. It's very small. You can see my hand here. It actually unfolds to a 10-liter sink that you can put water in to wash the dishes and wash your clothes. I wouldn't wash my clothes in this thing, but I have a scrubber for that. But yeah, I wanted something small and foldable, so that's why I bought this. Next is a broom and dustpan set for the tent. Don't like dirty tent. I don't like putting a tent away that has a bunch of crud in the tent. I couldn't find something like this at the grocery store, so I had to order this from Amazon. But it's a very small mini broom and dustpan, so kind of like it. And an extra towel. This is to wipe the tent down. if it's dewy from overnight to help wipe the tent down before I put it away. And of course, after I get home, I also air the tent out as well before I store it for a long time. All right, next is the rest of the bag is pretty much the rest of my kind of like family room or living room and bedroom set. So inside here, this is the ThermaRest air mattress that I told you about earlier. And it comes with that bag that you saw earlier, but I reused it for something else. And inside the bag, I also put an air pillow. It's a Sea to Summit Aeros pillow, the large one, and it just give it a couple breaths, and it blows up into a big size pillow like this big, about as long as this thing. And then this is an air pump. It's a very small air pump, as you can see. You open it up like so. There's no batteries in it right now, so it's not running. But you pull that out and hook it to anything, and it blows air. It blows the mattress up. But it does take some batteries, and I took the batteries out. I also stuffed a sleeping bag liner. This is very small, as you can see. Sleeping bag liner. It packs down. It adds an extra 10 degrees to the sleeping bag, so that's why I bought it. And plus, it's like having sheets on your bed. So this gets dirty, you just wash this, and you don't have to wash the whole entire sleeping bag. So that's why I bought it, like having sheets on my mattress, on my bed. And then this is the rest of it. This is the air mattress inside here. It's folded down very small, as you can see. It's much smaller, but it was bigger because I stuffed everything else in there. So that's that. Next is a camping chair. This is called the Helinox Chair Zero. There's a Chair 1, which is almost a pound heavier than this one. So the Chair 1 is about 2.1 pounds, and this one is 1.2 pounds. So that's why I bought this, is because it's super light, it's super small, and I'm not a 6'4", 220-pound person, so I figured this chair would fit me perfectly. And I bought this in case my daughter wants to go camping with it. All right, next is a table. So this is where I'm gonna be eating my food. And along with this chair, this is kind of like my dining room, eating kitchen, and my, living room at the same time, lounging area. So the table itself weighs really, I don't remember the weight of it, but it's very, very lightweight, and it's small, and it's so much lighter. I think it's even lighter than the actual chair. So the table itself, it folds out really nicely, and it's a lot of space to put your stuff. I also have a foldable plate, and this is a Sea to Summit plate, foldable plate. It's called an X something, I can't remember. But it also acts as a cutting board, and I was thinking about buying a small, tiny cutting board, but I was like, what if I need to cut something bigger? So I figured I'd get a multi-purpose item, a plate to eat my food in, and a cutting board. And it's a very hard, tough cutting board. And it folds down really flat. And with these dry sacks, it pretty much just fits on the side and anywhere. So I figured I'd purchase that. And then, last but not least, is my sleeping bag. So the biggest item in terms of shape and dimensions, but it's the lightest. Well, it's not the lightest, but it's one of the lightest. This is an Outdoor Vitals 20-degree down sleeping bag, 800 fill. And this was the cheapest one I can find that was down. I like to be warm when I sleep, and that's why I bought this one. And you can see there's nothing else in the bag. And that's pretty much my whole entire camping gear set. So yeah, the sleeping bag, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when we go camping. And so maybe it will give you guys ideas. It's going to be about 2 months before I go camping. And I wanted to run this through and get some ideas from you guys. Number one. Number two, kind of show you how I progress after I go camping and see how this gear holds up and how it works. And then give you guys feedback on whether this gear was worth the purchase or not. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and try all this gear when I go camping, and then I'll report to you guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave it in the section below. And then if you guys want links to all of this, I can certainly do that. I can give you guys links.